Now, there are concerns protests could spread to other major U.S. cities after U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement conducted a series of immigration raids across L.A. Vehicles have been set on fire and dozens of people have been arrested. U.S. President Donald Trump has deployed about 2,000 National Guard troops to the city, triggering a political row. As protests against ICE's extensive arrests roil Los Angeles, another of Trump's immigration policies has come into effect. Last week, Trump signed an order banning travel to the U.S. by citizens from 12 countries. To discuss this and more, we're joined by the former U.S. diplomat and associate editor at Daily Maverick, Brooks Spector. Brooks, never a dull moment, is there? It is a constant movement. I mean, what powers does the U.S. President Donald Trump have to deploy Marines to Los Angeles? And is he testing the limits of his presidential authority by sending these troops?
Well, the answer to your question is answer number two. He's clearly testing the limits of the laws in place. He used a very rarely invoked provision of the Armed Services Act in the cases of insurrection or invasion to call up, without consulting the state governor in California, National Guard units now twice, and saying that they would dispatch, I believe it was 700 Marines who are in a base near Los Angeles to Los Angeles to, quote unquote, deal with the situation. This has led to more provocations among demonstrators and protesters, cycling a negative feedback loop, I guess at this point you'd have to call it. There were originally the ICE raids on illegal or undocumented aliens. That triggered protests. The protests brought out the police. The police generally kept it contained within reason. The president decided for his own purposes that it was appropriate to call up the National Guard without asking the governor of the state of California if that was needed. And that has provoked much more widespread demonstrations and provocations, and then leading, as you noted, the assignment of 700 Marines, which will undoubtedly lead to more protests, perhaps more violent ones, and will probably trigger protests across the country. The map I saw had something like 20 different places where it was expected or called for. This is a serious crisis now, and in a way, you can argue this is the crisis that Donald Trump wanted, because he has been actively arguing that foreigners, illegal immigrants, undocumented aliens, however you wish to call them, are the cause of many of the nation's problems, and that only severe, strong, iron-fisted responses and arrests are appropriate. Yeah. One other thing to throw into the mix is that he has called for a parade celebrating the 200th anniversary of the U.S. Army, 250th anniversary, I think actually it is, in Washington. It happens to be Donald Trump's 79th birthday. And if you put those pieces together, you can get to see the jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, that jigsaw. Even the Hardy-Dar in the background is seeing this jigsaw puzzle.
Sorry about that. I can't control it.
We got to listen to what the Hardy-Dar has to say, because he's just as baffled by what's going on and the puzzle pieces. I mean, yeah, all right. I don't know if there's a coincidence about the birthday being the same parade, but I mean, let's go back to what's happening in California. I mean, bypassing the authority of Governor Newsom of California. Is the fight President Trump, he's been waiting for this. I mean, it's a showdown with a top political rival in a deep blue state over an issue that's core to his political agenda.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, he and Governor Newsom have been at each other for some years, and this was, I think, and if you were Donald Trump, you'd see this as the perfect moment, not only to pick the fight, but to win it. He's threatening, or somebody in his administration has been calling for Newsom's arrest, and Newsom has already started to sue the federal government for unwanted exercising of authority over California National Guard. I mean, you can only envision that if there will be a clash between armed troops, that is National Guard or Marines, and citizens and protesters, it's not going to be good. It's going to provoke further actions. It's going to be increasingly vigorous and violent. The one thing that I think also we just need to throw into the mix, a lot of the protesters have been carrying national flags of places like Mexico. Yeah. And that, I think, further inflames the idea that this is an unwanted invasion, quote unquote, of foreigners. Some commentators have said, gee, it would really be good if the protesters were carrying American flags rather than foreign flags to demonstrate what their grievance really is, which is to be allowed to process way through the immigration system and into the pathway to permanent residence. But all of this, all of these pieces together, every one of them has the chance of helping the whole thing spiral out of control. And I think that's the real problem. Once you uncork this bottle, to use another metaphor, you really don't know what kind of genie is going to come out of that bottle.
Very much so, very, very much. I mean, you speak about photographs. I actually saw, it was one of the first things I woke up to this morning was Elon Musk. I mean, you know, because our Twitter feeds are only of Elon Musk at the moment, but he retweeted a photograph of somebody, of course, wearing a mask, which is what the president has said is illegal, holding up a Mexican flag, a very powerful image with blazers all around him, something you don't really believe is coming out of California, of all places. It does appear that Trump is deploying the same tactics as he's done to punish universities, law firms, other institutions and individuals that he views as political adversaries. This is what it appears like.
Yeah, I mean, his playbook is limited. In other words, I mean, he makes the same moves over and over again. The problem is he does all these things almost simultaneously, so that opposition really doesn't have a chance to coalesce around any one thing, because they have to deal with a whole bunch of different things at the same time. California, as you rightly point out, is hugely Democratic in its voting. And in previous comments from Donald Trump, he's threatened to prevent government funding from flowing to California on a variety of different areas. The problem with that, of course, is that California, as a rather rich state, pays more in federal taxes. The citizens do, obviously, more in federal taxes by a considerable amount than California receives in federal subsidies for any of the various government activities. So if you want to have that kind of a snit fight, then that's not going to work out quite so well. But the Trump administration seems absolutely fixated on the idea that fighting illegal immigration or unwanted, undocumented aliens and foreigners is the primary cause, a primary reason for its existence almost, and that it supersedes any other version of things, including the laws that are already on the books. And as a result, you now have what your visuals on screen are showing us, many different things, none of them good.
You got 30 seconds to answer this one. Pretty much so a yes or no answer. Musk calling for a new political party? Do you think this will happen? Think he's got the power?
My crystal ball's a little bit hazy on this one, but he's got lots of money, and if he so chooses to push for it, things like that might happen. Whether it would be successful, whole different question.
Okay, so it's not a yes, it's not a no, it's a maybe. Brooks Spector, yes. Thank you. The former US diplomat and associate editor at the Daily Maverick, speaking to us about the political turmoil over migration in Los Angeles in the US.